Wow, wow. Welcome to DogStar. Each week we sit down with a star of rap and R&B, and this week we have the pleasure of sitting down with Arvell Genius.
How you doing?
How you feeling? Thank you so much for coming through today.
Yes, thank you guys for having me, man.
It's a true pleasure. We've been listening to your stuff over the last week, and yeah, I feel like we've really gotten to know what you've shared, but we kind of want to know how you even turned into such a phenomenal artist.
Yeah,
So,
we look forward to filling in the gaps of our fandom knowledge, for sure.
Well,
I'd say we hop in the time machine.
yeah, are you
Okay.
from Minnesota? Are you born in Minnesota?
Yeah, I'm actually born and raised Minneapolis, from the north side of Minneapolis, Minnesota. So
Cool.
I think we need to see a birth certificate. No, I'm
if I
just
had one with me, I could
the
provide it.
yeah, pause the no. But who growing up, like, who were you around? Who was the musical people? Did you have family members who were musical?
Honestly, that's a good question. So I grew up with my family actually was very music oriented. Not only that, like dancers and stuff like that. My mom actually used to be in like a pop locking crew when
What?
she was in high school and all that,
Oh,
and
I
like
love
college,
that.
and so like she was always into stuff and like just overall, like I had uncles that always used to like love the jam music and everything and have vinyl collections and whatnot. So
That's tight.
yeah, I kind of grew up with around that, and I probably had like a couple uncles who played some instruments as well. So
Okay. Any of them who were trying to push a guitar, a trumpet into your hands? Was it like an 8-year-old?
no one actually did that, which was kind of cool because I wouldn't like probably be at the position that I am right now.
I suppose,
or feel the way that I do about what I do. But no, like I had an uncle who loved playing drums, and he still does to this day. Also, he did pick up a guitar, like a bass and stuff. But I also had an uncle who was into more of like orchestra type like instruments, so like violin and like cellos
Classical.
and like saxophones and trumpets and stuff.
So creativity was around you growing up, for sure.
Yeah, no, I can say that.
And
for
were
sure.
you all about it like right away, or more sports in school, or?
So I've always had like love for music. It was just like something that felt good, like hearing songs as a kid and whatnot. But I really got into skateboarding. So when I kind of got into that, I really could have joined like school sports or whatnot. I did some rec teams and whatnot, but skateboarding was just like, that was the one for me. And it's just something that caught my eye differently than a lot of other sports, I guess, so.
Outside of your family, who were some musical role models, or who were your favorite artists when you started skateboarding?
Wow. Sheesh. Honestly, I would say I grew up on a lot of like classic rock, like Jimi Hendrix, like The Doors,
Okay.
Chili Peppers, and then like also like early 2000s, like Jill Scott, like Outkast and all that. And so it was a big, wide variety, but I would say when it came to hip hop and like the inspiration, I'll say like a lot of like DJ Quick. He was like played a lot. Was it like Wu-Tang, obviously? Like they're always like around, but yeah, I remember mostly it was Raekwon the Chef and who made Iron Man? I'm over here tripping. Ghostface Killer.
Oh,
So like that was like a major part of those like of the Wu-Tang family, hearing that. And I'm kind of like just trying to brainstorm now. And, like,
I mean, can you remember the first CD that you owned or maybe stole from your cousin?
So actually, the first one I've ever acquired was from my older brother, actually.
Okay.
Like, so he was like a big 50 Cent fan.
Okay.
And the first CD I've like ever owned, and I don't think I was even into him at the time, but I was like, you know, as a little brother, you look up to your older brother so much.
Yeah.
So I was just like, yeah, I love 50 Cent too, or whatever. But the first tape was The Massacre.
Oh.
And honestly, like, I remember like playing those songs all the time. And honestly, like, yeah, 50 Cent was like dope. Like, it was a good tape.
He's a hit machine, yeah.
Yeah, like, I mean, I didn't know too much what he was talking about at that age, but
Right.
I mean, it was still like just dope sounds, you know? So, like,
Well, I guess to fast forward a little bit, how does skateboarding turn into
Right.
recording yourself?
Or songwriting, or what was the first signs that you were gonna, like, were you doing poetry or journaling, or it's gotta had to have started somewhere.
honestly, I guess it was just overall just liking to do different things.
Yeah.
And so I just remember like me and my friends at the time, we were be going to like parties or whatever, high school parties, and people would just be freestyling, or we'll be at their houses just like playing beats on YouTube.
Right.
And just like naturally, honestly, it was you know, like shouts out to the higher power, but it was like pretty good to be like very nice with vocabulary, you know. So like learning how to use different words and whatnot was just something I always liked besides skateboarding. And so once we always used to listen to beats and whatnot, and it was just easy to put stuff together, and like being around people and rapping, like, and they're like, oh man, this is actually nice. Like, oh snap, like you came up with that. And it's like, yeah, it's a freestyle. Like, and so
Did that love for language come from reading, or were you, I can picture you as a bookworm as a kid.
yeah, I guess so. I really just like I like to know a lot about a lot of things. So even as a kid, like when I didn't know anything, I'm like, that's interesting. Like, how does that work? And so figure out, or like just observe someone doing something, you know, like hands on or whatnot. And so it was just yeah, like I guess just being around certain things and environments where it was just like easy to notice. And I'm like, oh, I'm gonna take that in. It's like, what do you call that again? Learning new words that way or whatever, you know. So, and then trying to like figure out that new word and put it into something.
Right. Solidify it in your mind.
Yep. So
Do you think that well, I guess just freestyling at parties, was that kind of your first time performing in front of people, or were you doing stuff in church or in school before that?
So growing up, adding on to the musical background, like, yeah, so I have 3 other siblings, and so we all were in the choir and like church and stuff. So since we were like kids, actually,
Oh, whoa.
so probably like 5 or 6 years old, like being in the
Okay.
choir, or probably even 4 if it goes that back. But
Well, that makes
you
sense.
know, like your parents can't leave you at home, and so
Yeah,
some days, so it's
gotta
like you
have
might as
doing-
well join like the community and do something within the, you know, that type of environment. So yeah, we were in the choir, and I could say, well, I guess it really did help out with like different learn how to use different melodies, you know, or using my voice in different ways. So
And at the time, I suppose you didn't know, oh, I better be paying attention because me 20 years from now is really going to need to know all this, or did you retain a fair amount of like the technical skill?
I never really thought about it that hard. It was something that I just enjoyed just doing, and I really didn't, I guess, like I would say, like you take criticism, like I would take criticism, but then it would still be like even if it's bad, it's like, all right, cool, you know, like I'm still gonna do what I want to do, or like I'm still like, so I didn't really take it as like too much of a process and like a brain fart where it's like, oh, like I'm doing this for that. Like it was just something that I just loved doing, and that type of like energy kept me just flowing
I mean,
know?
when you say it like that, it makes sense that you were so into skateboarding because I feel like a lot of that is like not doing it right a bunch of times
Yeah.
until you do.
No, for sure.
Were you like that before you started skateboarding, or is that maybe why skateboarding was for you?
Man, honestly, I wouldn't even know, like, you know, thinking back that far. I guess, like, you know, like from the words of a lot of my family members, like I always been the quote unquote different one or whatever. Like,
Oh.
I mean, I'm from Northside Minneapolis, picking up a skateboard.
Skater.
It's like, you know, like that's like sometimes like I mean it's common, but I guess it's uncommon sometimes in those areas. And but yeah, it was just I was like just different stuff, I guess, you know, like things that like made me challenge myself, you know, like stuff that wasn't usually in my environment that I can take a hold to, like, you know, where it's like, hey, like, okay, you want to go skiing? Sure, I never been skiing. Like, you know, why not? You know, like opportunities to like hit your way that way. So I'm just like, let me just roll with the punches. So.
Yeah, give it a whirl.
Did that love for music and church choir stay with you externally? I'm sure it stayed with you internally. But were you in choir in middle school, in choir in high school, in choir in college, you know, or did that externally maybe become less important?
No, I didn't, I mean, it's always, like, what's the word? I guess it's always good to keep that, like, feeling from knowing where I came from in that environment. But when I got older as well, you know, just, like, a lot of, like, I feel like kids... You know, like you start learning more about the environment, and you're like, like let me see if I can figure something else out, or, you know, like, is it something? I guess I guess it was like my time to just like I'm at one, and I have my like peace with my higher power. You know, it's like I don't need a building, I guess, to confine me with that, or like
my faith,
or like in a big group or whatnot, you know. So it's like I know where I'm at with God. So
on to the next big thing,
you know. Yeah, for sure.
I like
so
that.
It's just like
it stayed with you.
Yeah, no, for sure.
That's sweet.
And then, yeah, I guess we're coming up to it. So you were freestyling. When was your first opportunity to like record a song, or what?
Yeah.
Did you write stuff to bring the show to people, or did that group of friends kind of become your main group of friends with music?
Or was it months of recording in secret?
No, honestly, I wish I actually had that opportunity to do the months of recording in secret. But no, honestly, like, so I started writing my own songs at like 13 or whatnot. Like my own full like 16, 2 verses, and like a chorus and whatnot.
Whoa.
So just like challenging myself, and that kind of came from like me doing it a little bit on my own with like my friends who like who were rapping with me at the time, just like freestyling over beats, and like, you know, like, hey, we should become a group, you know, just being kids or whatever.
Did you guys have a name for the group? What was
the group was called Coolie Cloud High.
Yeah.
So
I got
like,
that written down.
Yeah,
like,
so
what
like,
is that?
Yep, and so
So it's everyone kind of bouncing off each other.
Yeah, and it was kind of cool. I remember like making that up one day, and I was like, "How do you guys think about this?" And everyone went nuts or whatever.
Yes.
It was just like, it's so cool, and like, you know, like we were like young, like kids being stoners too. So just like it's the perfect match.
I like it.
But yeah. So I was really just like writing music, and then I just had like started getting notebooks filled, and my like first real and that was probably like, was it, like I said, from 13 to like 17. Like,
Oh my gosh.
18 possibly, or yeah, like 13 to 18. I'm just like writing music, freestyling, just at parties with friends or whatever.
But not like performing at a town show.
Yeah, I didn't have any like connections at that point. I really didn't know at the time too. Like, I just thought like, you know, like, man, if I rap good enough in front of someone, like something's gonna happen. And that does happen, you know, particularly in some like situations. But you know, that's just a kid's thought as well. You know, so I didn't really have no one behind me to be like, no, like, you know, let's actually push this and like do it. We were just trying to be kids, like rapping and whatever. And so my first opportunity I ever got to record was when I moved to Virginia Beach for my senior year of high school. And I was about to turn 19 actually, and I met this one homie. Shouts out to Laid by Nature, and me and him went to this one school, and I actually like met him and kind of like talked to him in class or whatever, like cracked a few jokes, and we had the same bus route home. And I just like showed him a song that I actually recorded in my closet, and he was like, actually, like, dude, this is actually dope. And so, yeah, he gave me my first like opportunity to come to his house and like record. And it was just like a stand, a mic, pop filter, and like a sound barrier, which was dope too. But it was like, to me, I'm like, what? I'm like, you guys got it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's huge.
And I think it tells you something about that experience, the fact that you remember it so vividly. It still sticks with you.
No, for sure. I mean, it changed a lot, once we were able to drop music and stuff, we were like doing pretty decent numbers, and that's when like blogging was a big thing too.
Right.
So I had some friends doing blogging, so we were getting like a couple thousand a day on like the songs we were dropping, like low quality, like not mastered music, but it was like people enjoyed it, and so it was just that was like super dope.
And are we talking like Confusion? That era of music?
Yeah, that's
okay.
Exactly.
The SoundCloud track. You're not gonna find that in the normal aisle.
Yep, SoundCloud.
That's sweet.
Man.
So has that always been Arvell Genius as the artist name? Because we love knowing the originals and the.
Yeah, but that'll be our last question before our first break.
Okay. Honestly, it wasn't. That's a good question as well. So during those times, freestyling at a party. Shouts out to JL. She goes by Just Love, and is actually my twin sister.
No way.
Yeah, and so she's actually really dope. Like when I said we were like grew up in a church, she was like always like the lead. She was getting all the leads and stuff as a kid. It was like wild. So she was really, really talented person, like genuine, like knows how to hold her own on a mic, like rapping and singing. It's just wild. But we used to go to those parties and freestyle, and she randomly one day, like after like kicking this like dope like freestyle, like she was like, yeah, y'all ain't know who this was? That's that Kid Genius. And so like I was, as a kid going, I'm like, that Kid Genius. Ooh. So I'm like, cool. And so as I got older though, I was like, I don't want to be called that kid and be like 45 or something. Yeah, so it was so I was like, let me just take my actual name and, take off that kid part and just put Arvell.
Well, we're sitting down with Arvell the Genius, FKA That Kid Genius. We'll be right back on DogStar.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
Welcome back to DogStar.
We're sitting down with Arvell Genius, formerly That Kid Genius. Are there any other we're missing in between, or was it just that to that?
I mean, yeah, that was just like, how I started my name. That Kid Genius converted over to Arvell Genius.
And did the opportunity to be able to record with this group of people out in Virginia Beach kickstart your momentum, or was it too overwhelming to face that obstacle? Because you said you had notebooks and notebooks of lyrics written. Where do you start?
Right. It's actually funny because like a lot of the stuff in my notebooks, I like probably like only recorded like a quarter of. So just like everything else is just like new raps. So,
interesting.
Well, so the people in Virginia, there was only like just one homie and like his other homie and like another person, I guess. So, and I guess the other two people that was like in his like collective, like they were just, they were younger. We were like teenagers. And so I don't know how much they wanted to do it, but I guess they weren't doing it as much as they could have. So like I was just utilizing. I'm like, bro, I got like all these songs already
I'm
written.
ready, right?
I'm like, you should let me knock these out. And so like that's how like I was able just to do that. And from, I guess, like him seeing that consistency or whatever, it was just like, oh, this dude's actually trying to do something. So
Now, can you tell us how your songwriting process back then differs from now, if at all?
could you elaborate a little more?
Like kind of what comes first, the beat or the lyric?
I've always, I guess, like generated like more like towards like the beat 1st. So like it just naturally, I've like, like you just hear something, it's like, oh snaps, then you
clicks,
get to
yeah.
like starting to like flow or whatnot. I mean, I have had different processes where like I've wrote lyrics down and then I put them to beats or whatnot, but yeah, I'm usually like probably like hearing the beat first and I'm like, yep, that one. Or like half the time if I hear a beat and I like it, I probably won't even tell nobody. I just whip out my phone and just start, because just thinking so much, it's like I might as well like, and it'll come up with some pretty cool bars, just on the spot.
And do you find that you can kind of capture creativity when it strikes, or do you more tap into it because it's always flowing?
I guess it depends on the moment, I really couldn't tell you, because when it's there in your face, like, either you can grab the opportunity or like some people like see the opportunity and don't grab it. Like, as in, there's times where I've like just been walking down the street freestyling in my head and I'm not writing none of it down. And it's some of probably the dopest stuff that I've like freestyled,
Yeah.
Oh my
so
god.
it's just like, either you can grab the opportunity or like, seize it. So most of the time, like now, I'm just like, yeah, when it's like in my face, I'm just like, come here, or like, if I have thought about it a lot, sometimes it will come back to me a little bit later where it's like, yeah, let me actually jot that down as well. So
That's tight.
We had mentioned Confusion, an
Yeah.
early song. We're going to start working our way through the discography.
okay.
After Confusion, we have Directions, also what I call a SoundCloud classic.
Yeah.
Exclusive.
And is this still in the Virginia era?
No.
Or have you moved back?
I literally probably like, I was back in Minnesota probably for like 3 months, 4 months when that song was made. So I made it up here. I made it in Minnesota.
Nice.
And then like I already had a beat that I was listening to, and it was a YouTube beat, and I forgot the producer who made it, but shout out to him or whoever they are. But yeah, so I just was like writing it, and yeah, I had an opportunity with some neighbors of mine who was making music upstairs.
No way.
Actually, yeah, and they had a studio in their apartment,
Whoa.
and it was like, I forgot how I ended up meeting them, but like we ended up being like cool like neighbors, whatever, and they'll let me come up and like kind of like record or whatnot, and it was kind of cool.
sick.
And then I did Directions, and they were like, dang, I didn't know that you were trying to take it this serious. And so they like actually started letting me take their like laptop and like was it mic and stuff down to my apartment, because like I guess they weren't using it as much as they could have been. But yeah, I mean, that's all like I really, I guess, had. So
That's nice,
Like,
but now you're recording at home.
Yeah.
Now it's anytime.
yeah.
Well, at least for those 3 months, where'd you go after the pit stop in Minnesota, if I may ask?
Like, so when I got back after Directions, so after, I guess, after that, I ended up meeting RP Hooks, and he's actually an older cat. Shouts out to him, like my older cousin, but shouts out to him. He was working with a lot of like older dudes, like Big Cats. Who is it? Abhinav. Shout out to Abhinav. Like who was it? Tech. He knew like Minnesota and them, so he was like
Yeah.
grew up with those dudes like Bobby
Okay.
Raps and whatnot and stuff. So
That's
he was like pretty known himself, and I ended up meeting him at Triple Rock
nice.
Rest in
before it
peace.
closed down. I'm like, so I was here like, I was here at least like 5 months at the time, and like Triple Rock was probably closing down like a couple months after that. So they were like his group at the time, Black Space, was doing a show, and I think they were like some of the people who closed out like some of the last nights that they had there.
Oh,
So.
wow.
Yeah, just that perfect snippet, that perfect timing. Once again,
Yes.
it seems like
kind of. I guess the universe be on your side when you manifest something.
Yeah,
you
gotta listen to the signs of the universe. For
and
sure.
so yeah, connecting
Yeah.
with music in North Carolina, coming back, more music. Are you like, I'm about to be a musician at this point? Or are you still?
Well, Virginia. And
Oh my, I'm so
no,
sorry.
you're all good. And honestly, when I was in Virginia, that's when I was like, yeah, I'm taking this like super serious, like
Nice.
trying to do as much as we can. Never had a show out there when I lived out there, but that's when I like I know I can do some pretty cool stuff with this.
It'll be fun to go back there and do a show.
Yeah, no, for sure.
That'll be sweet.
Yeah, for sure, man. And I got some dope homies out there, shout out to them. So I'm still like pretty well like acquainted out there and stuff. So
Nice.
It'll be the first stop of the tour.
right.
Heck yeah. And then what's next? Is the Perfect Return the next thing? Because we found that. Well, I found that on SoundCloud because it's on Infinity Suites.
I've got Still Here and Insanities.
Aha.
Can you
Oh, I
confirm
see
the
where we're
order?
at.
Yeah.
I see where we're at.
Yeah, so after Directions, so like I said, I was met up with RP Hooks. He already had like him and his collective at the time had like a pretty established name and whatnot. So I wasn't really I was just like the homie that met him and like kind of was the younger homie just like running with them, but I wasn't part of Black Space. So I was just like chilling and stuff. But I was able to see a lot of things,
Yeah.
go a lot of places and whatnot, and meet a lot of people. I guess
Where
Was
my
it-
days are numbered is where I should be at, right? That's 2017.
yeah, that's after Insanities and
Still Here.
Yeah, and Still Here. Yep. And
Shoot.
What can you tell us about Insanities?
Insanities, that was just like that was a song. I mean, it feels like that was like I feel like it was a love song, but it wasn't. Like just because it's talking about like a chick basically, and not like a specific chick. It's just talking about like girls, I guess, in a sense, So, but yeah, that song was just on trying to be on some like cool, smooth stuff,
Yep.
like, yeah, what's up, baby?
Yeah, the different side, the other
Yeah,
side,
you
the
know,
late night when the sun goes
right,
down.
You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
And
Like,
was that your first music video?
no. So
Oh.
Directions, I had a music video to that, and that was actually my very first music video. Shouts out to Dre and and Cooley. Those dudes like helped me out with that a lot, and they did it for free too.
Wow.
And so that was a blessing. They actually, one of my old friends went to school with them, and I guess he showed them my song, and they actually was working with Reeves Jr. at the time.
Nice.
And so once they heard my song, like they literally told my friend, they was like, bro, where's this at? Like, this is dope. Like, I'll give him a free video. And like we ended up like a couple days later, like came over and we
yes.
got a free video.
Oh,
and
yeah.
it
That is
worked
the
out.
power of art. I
Yeah,
love it.
It was really wild. So
And what do you
I'm
think
like super blessed for that.
having a
Definitely,
video for a
definitely.
song does for a song? Because you're all about the music videos, as far as I can tell.
I mean, I felt like it's always dope to hear the audio. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just always gonna be dope just hearing that platform and but when you can see visual art towards the audio, it just makes it like kind of like stand out just a little bit more. Where you're just like, oh wait, like and you see like the person who's actually, putting this art out there.
Right.
So
And are you more hands-on with the visual aspect? Like, do you like designing album covers? Do you like
Oh yeah, for sure.
making the shot list for the music video?
Yeah, so a lot of like the covers that I have done or have gotten made. Shouts out to my homie Peter Hartwig, like one of the trippiest men on the planet.
Killing.
But he actually heard directions, and and I met him through some homies, and he was like, "Yeah, man, I do art and whatever." And I was like, "I'm looking for a cover artist," and
Oh my gosh.
he ended up like a lot of like interactions that I've met with a lot of my friends who like the people that actually how we help each other with this has just kind of been authentic. It never was like trying to like find anyone or like force anyone and be like, you know, it was just like I knew I was like, I know I wanted some dope cover art and I know I can possibly do something myself, but I know somebody out there can like do what I think of, you know, or like make my like, you know, intentions or like thoughts come to life. And what do you know? I ran into the trippiest man alive.
And that's
he
got
was able to do that.
It's got to really feel like you're on the right track. When, I mean, people say off the strength all the time, but it's like literally off the strength of that song, people are willing to work with you and like fill in the slots in your creativity that, you know, you might not even have time for because you're writing songs.
No, for sure. I mean, I'm just super blessed. It's a blessing and like, you know, like a very genuine like just feeling like overall that like even someone's willing to take the time to be like, hey, I like what you're doing. Let me help you out or let me do something that can, you know, boost what you got going on. And yeah, that type of stuff, you know, you can't take those type of things back, you know. It's just like it makes you like you literally feel like super empowered and feel happy, you know, like that people are willing to do that with you and it's solid people around you. It's not like no one trying to get over, you know, not someone's trying to put you down. It's like people who sit there and listen to each other, you know, like, and it comes into like, you know, just full like circle, I guess.
That's sweet. That's
amazing. Sorry, again, as fans, being able to hear an artist we respect and enjoy break it down so eloquently, we thank you so much.
Well, I appreciate I can do that too.
we're in 2017. We got to talk about My Days Are Numbered.
Yeah,
Okay.
6-song EP. That's where I recognize RP Hooks from.
Yes.
Because he's on Intentions. Exactly. Yep.
And he he produced most of that tape as well.
Nice.
Was it shouts out to Tech and Yon Legend? They were co-producers on that tape for a couple songs as well, which very happy that they were. But yeah, that was my first solo tape, actually. So
okay. So after kind of singles, maybe group tape.
And so actually at that time, RP Hooks, like I said, they were in a group called Black Space. And so we ended up, I guess like the group was having like certain issues or whatnot. So they ended up just like, you know, going their separate ways. And so, I mean, me meeting this person and I'm just like the younger dude kicking it with somebody who's doing his thing or whatnot. And he likes what I'm doing. He decided, he's like, yo, like I'm gonna make another collective, you know, how would you feel being down in the collective? And that was my first time being in like something with a group of people. And that group consists of like it was like heavy hitters, like, who was it? It was Hard R, POS's son.
Yeah.
It was Yon Legend, Tech, you know, shout out to Hard R as well. It was Mixie. She's doing her DJ thing now. Who else was it? It was Good Karma Niles. And yeah, me and RP Hooks.
Wow.
So
that is
pretty
super group.
heavy hitters, to say the least. Yeah, super group, exactly.
It was dope, yeah. It was cool. And it was something that I'd never been a part of in my life. So it was, because I've always did a lot of everything solo. Like, most of my songs are like, I don't really like do features and not like that I'm not willing to do features. It's just most of the stuff that I do is just that. But I think it's good that I'm able to put out a lot of those type of songs and like projects, and because it can show my solo versatility, and then when it's time, I can have like a bunch of people, who's willing to jump on some tracks with me.
Gotta
That's
be
awesome.
flexible. We got about a minute left. I wanted to ask you, or maybe in the form of giving advice to some of these up-and-coming solo artists, what are the benefits of working in a group? It might be like, oh, too many schedules. It might seem overwhelming to a solo artist.
Benefits, man. The benefits are if you, like, people say, like, if they're solid, if they're this and that, I'll just say being transparent, learn how to talk to people, not assuming situations, and, just kind of just being upfront, like, hey, like, we got this going on, like, yada, yada, would you want to be a part of this or whatnot, and just, like, the schedule thing could get figured out all the time. You just ask one question, that's just, like, my friends that, like, who accompany me today, they could easily be like, no, I'm doing something, and that would have never, so being in a group, it's dope if you can keep communication and just make sure everyone is, like, kind of on one accord, and you guys would definitely just move like a powerhouse. So.
Words of wisdom from Arvell Genius here on DogStar. Make sure you follow him at Arvell Genius. That's with 2 L's on Instagram.
And Arvell Genius anywhere you're streaming music. We'll be right back.
Bow wow.
Oh, wow.
Welcome back to DogStar.
Sitting down with Arvell Genius. Just cracking the discography, and forgive me because we might have to fly through a bunch of this.
No doubt.
My Days Are Numbered 2017, we were talking about that. And then it's Single City. We're doing a bunch of singles.
Okay.
It's Static, $1 Billion Scheme, or Static is 2019, but then we jumped to 2023 $1 Billion Schemes. What's going on there?
Static, man, it was something that was just created. I think I was just like on my like, you know what? I want people to know, like, I can be a little more versatile than what, like, what they're usually hearing. Because, I mean, like I said, I love vocabulary. And so I've always tried to use my vocabulary to my intelligence, I guess. And so getting on those type of like hyper beats and like, like more like moving and stuff, it's like, let me show you what I can do with this too. So
that's nice. And then 2020, it's a gap as far as I can tell. I mean, you're doing music videos still, but it's 2023 is the next song, $1 Billion Schemes with Just Love, like you mentioned earlier, which is your sister.
Yeah, man. Yeah, shout out to that lady.
Dynamic duo on that.
Yeah, no, she's super dope. That came about just like us just always like being around each other, loving music, and just like freestyling with each other, and just like, and she sees, like, I had one of my studios were actually set up over at her house.
Okay.
So when I had things set up at her house, and I'm like, yo, we might as well just knock something out. Let's get something like going. We have a few other songs that will be released like, sometime soon. But that was just something that was like, I need something with my sister. Like, I guess just in my lifetime. Like, it's just cool to do something with your family.
And
like,
it could have just been like the release timing, but it seems like that was really the start of like a good rhythm. Because it was August, $1 Billion Schemes, September, Wisconsin Dells, October, Caution, November, Creation.
Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, just...
Yeah, so, like, it was more like, my boy Infinity Sweets, shouts out to him as well. But me and him just always, like, had a good, like, chemistry when it came to, like, making music. So, like, there was times like he'll send me like a beat pack, whatever, like 5 to 8 or 10 beats, and like I'll be at his house like within 2 days with those songs ready to go or whatever. And so we ended up like just having so much music in the vault where it it was just like, yo, let's get this stuff mixed and mastered and like sent on its way. And so we were able to do that. And we had got like a load of songs that got mastered like to us. So we were able to just like, let's put out something like every 3 weeks. Let's put out something this and that. And so.
And that kind of accumulating to the perfect return. Just like we need to tackle something bigger than just track by track, or what was the inspiration behind that?
No, I think we already had the perfect return like in the works. So I was actually going through a bunch of stuff at a certain time, dealing with the government, but
Classic.
like, yeah, you know, but yeah, so just a little situation where I had to take. It wasn't like a necessary break. It was just more
Temporary hiatus.
yeah. So I had to take a little back, get my mental straight and get things together in the right way. But the work was always getting done. It was just under wraps. So once it was just time, like, and everything was got situated, and I was finishing up with what I was going through, like. I was like, man, like, the perfect return. And that, like, kind of started one day. I remember actually I was sleeping. It was, like, literally, like, a weird dream that came to me. It was like I was, like, on the ocean, and it was, like, going through, like, a storm. And it was just, like, literally, like, I remember kind of, like, in my head while, like, kind of sleeping, just, like, the perfect storm. And I remember, like, waking up, and I was, like, the perfect return. And that was like something that like was like, cause like dealing with all the stuff that I was going through and whatnot. And, and honestly, it was just like from a personal point of view, all the stuff I was going through, I was like, I felt like that name was like perfect. Like, just, you can fall, you get back up, or you can stumble and not even fall, catch yourself. But it's like everyone has like a perfect return,
That's amazing. I mean, I selfishly, as a consumer, as a listener of music, I always think the artist is making the music for me. But to hear that it was so cathartic and so therapeutic for you to, as the artist making it.
No, for sure.
It's always a layer I again, selfishly kind of forget.
Well, it's like the thing is, like, a lot of artists, like, I think every artist makes music for, like the masses, so it's just, like, that was something that I was happy that I could make for other people, because not knowing at the time of, like, recording these songs, like, you don't realize that a lot of people get impacted, like, or, like, it affects them, or it's like, yo, this actually means something to me. Like, I was going through something just as similar as this, like, I'm dealing with this and dealing with that. So when that, like I said, that name is just like, it speaks for itself. It's just like, you can keep going, you can get back up from a lot of things that you fell from.
And yeah, it's been nonstop ever since.
Yeah, it's been cool.
Oh my gosh.
Then we got January, February, March, Feast. Sorry, the month numbers always mess me up. But Feast, another Infinity Suite single.
Yes.
Very nice to kick off 2024.
Now, I wanted to ask a question about Feast. Was that cut from the project? Was that supposed to be on the project that followed it?
No, actually.
Because I noticed the menu on the album cover for Feast.
That's actually interesting that you brought that up. That was a promotion that I was kind of trying to do for like Into the Void, the next tape we were putting out. So it was kind of like something if like you notice or whatever.
The through line.
And if you actually read if you read the actual flyer or like the actual menu, like on the menu, those are some of the song names with the description of like
that you had released ahead of time. It's kind of a teaser.
Like,
my god!
Yeah, it was just
cool.
just something that I just thought would be like kind of cool. I wish I could have did
That's
it.
amazing.
Very cool, exactly.
Appreciate it. I did want to say too, on the Perfect Return, that was all Infinity Suite, like master mixing and all that too. Like,
so he's leveling up with you at the same time?
Yeah, everything is in-house. Like, so which that what makes it pretty dope too.
That's huge. We got to get him on here someday as well.
Oh, for sure. You know what I'm saying?
Amazing.
That boy's a monster.
So that's a 10-track album. Yeah, produced entirely by Infinity Suite, it sounds like.
And shout out to Avinov too, because he was the
Yes.
narrator.
Yes.
He narrated that whole track.
That makes it
for us.
such like a package, like the
Dude, yeah, and he's the person that's like out the way in the background. So like, if people talk about it, I'd just be out the way. Like that man's actually out the way. But honestly, like I remember telling him like if I didn't get him on that for him just to do those interludes and narrate it, I didn't think the tape would honestly have been as good as it is. To be honest,
It
like,
weaves it together. It's like it reminds me of a Quemini,
yeah,
where you always have
Right.
that spoken word at
Right.
the end. Yeah.
right.
Well, that's dope, man.
Yeah.
The latest thing that I saw was the Tiny Desk, the Sunset Mimosa video. So that was kind of like reaching back for good. I feel like it fits NPR perfectly. It's,
Yeah.
it's right up their alley. And then did a video specifically for them.
Yeah, it was just so that wasn't even the official video. We actually do want to shoot a video for Sunset Mimosa.
Yeah.
It's like a really just like heartwarming song, I guess.
real.
But yeah, that video is just something that we wanted to submit to them, and just like hopefully be potentially a contest winner.
Yeah, I mean a good way to reach more people too. I feel
No,
like.
for sure. Yeah, it was pretty dope too, and we hit it right at the deadline too. Kind of pushed the limits on that one, but
Hey, pushing the envelope isn't anything new to you.
right.
Your representative sent over 2 tracks from your most recent projects, Into the Void, 16s and Is What It Is. Or
Yo,
What
Okay.
Is What It Is, yes. Excuse me.
Yeah, so 16's got that sweet music video on the bridge with Beamer. What is that the kind? Did you think of having that be the music video, or like what do you think of when you hear 16's?
man, I was thinking of something like I was thinking of something I guess a little more gritty, like like street type, but like I didn't think that'd be the location. The original location was supposed to be the Stone Arch, and that's what Co-Pilot had wanted to do that area, but it was closed down at the time. So
Construction,
yeah, and so literally the bridge right across like a little bit away from it was literally open, and so I don't know. We were just like, you know what, this seems pretty good. It has a good little view, like So we just kind of just took advantage of that spot, and
Yeah, he did his thing on that with
Oh,
the
man.
car and the bridge, and then the color correction makes
right.
it feel like it's another world. They're like out of time, or like physics is different or something.
no,
It's-
yeah, he, man. Shouts out to that man. He definitely puts in his work. It's always good to see him come up with these things, and it's very nice working with him as well on these videos. I like to direct a lot of my videos, but he does help me with that as well, and it's dope to. After we get done with like placing and directing everything, like he'll like hit me up a week later and be like, "Check this out," and then be like, "Okay," or like so.
That's huge, yeah,
Yeah.
because he did 16's, the Tiny Desk Sunset Mimosa, and sounds like going to be doing the Sunset Mimosa official video as well.
Yeah.
No assistant caution. So that's,
Yeah,
he's.
yeah. It was and like I said, it was a genuine experience. How like he ended up like wanting to shooting those videos for me and like the homies. Like he's actually been doing a lot of video shoots for like car like community stuff and whatnot, and like he like rides like he's like in a biker like group and whatnot.
Whoa.
So he's like in that type of community, and he has like a couple of videos that he's done for like cars and coffee and whatnot. And so
That's so sick.
it's like he did phenomenal on those videos, and I forgot the conversation we were having, but he was just like, we were me and my little cousin Grizz on the song Caution. He was actually, I think he brought up something like, man, we should do a video of this song or whatnot, and Co-Pilot was right there. It was like, well, yeah, we could do it right now. Or something.
Yes.
So all that stuff was just off a limb too.
Yeah.
Like we, that video and a couple other videos were just like us like kicking it, and he'll just pull out his like Shouts out to the iPhones too. You know, they got that 4K going on. But
Yeah.
he's been doing every video off that, and he's been making it look like, you know what I'm saying?
That's what's up. You
I have
gotta
$1
start
million
somewhere.
camera.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, joining fans today on DogStar. We're running out of time.
Yeah, exactly. Follow Arvell Genius, ARVELL space Genius. If you're looking for the music on the streaming, Arvell Genius squished together on Instagram and X, Facebook, Peter Cooley Johnson, Snapchat, Mr. Yin Yang. So yeah, you can literally see what he's doing all the time, and it's all cool stuff. You really found some cool people to work with, and I'm excited to see what you do next.
Man, I appreciate it, man. Thank you guys for the opportunity again, yo. Like, definitely happy to be here.
It's a pleasure.
Don't
We'll have to
stop
have
what
you
you're doing, yeah.
have you back.
But you're about to hear 2 tracks off of the newest project from Arvell Genius.
16s, and it is what it is.
Thanks for joining us on DogStar.
See you next time. Bow wow.
Bow wow.
Bow wow.
Hey.
I will be God. Yeah. Genius. What it do? Let me set the standards. Told you it takes me no effort. When it comes to spitting 16s, they know I'm better than average. I ain't with the chitter chatter. You better run me my cheddar. Belly bells on the proud at night. He's looking to make an example. The flyers in the building with Supreme sandals. I've been had a bag, feeling like a happy camper. When it come to my Skrilla, I'll backhand you. Slide away from the fakes, they slippery like salamanders. I've only just begun, but I'm far from done. I put in that work, I'm in it for the long haul. Shout out to my little bro, he just made it home. He kept his head up, got back out, said he can't do no wrong. Salute, can't do nothing but respect that. Nah, serious, head at. I can't be dealing with these. They be giving me headaches. She wanna fuck us some Benjis with me, okay? Just don't catch feelings. You know your place. You knew what it was when you met me, shorty, so display your position. Yeah, they didn't wanna see it, I told them, but they didn't wanna believe me. Made away from observing traits, OGs forced me to take the scene. I did. Now I'm doing what it takes, watch me paint a perfect picture. Place a beret up on to let him know he cap what he living. Ay, 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 ay. Genius, ay. I need a baby to rock the boat just like Aaliyah. The key seem to me sounding just like Alicia. The life that I live is what you speak of. Think he a chief, he tweaking. He can get smoked out just like Wiz Khalifa. I make it hot, might catch a fever. Reaching the top and still raising the meter. Beating the block like I did Tina. I'm ready to roll out like Luda and go handle business. Securing the bag, then it's back to the mission. You don't know what it takes to be in my position. Would you go to lengths? Do you have a commitment? You can't come around, you don't have no permission. I'm taking the crown, admit your submission. I came from the ground, now look how I risen. Down, watch how I end it. See, I'm not the type for chit or chat. If you do me dirty, it's tit for tat. I'ma need my get back as soon as I can. I say to myself, minding my biz, smoking on piff, high as a. I keep it smooth, I stay in the blend. I run with a few who don't play pretend. If you think I'm a fool, better think again. Nope, can't give none of you chance. I'll let you know up in advance. Take a look at my watch, got no time for the games. If you think I do, then you playing. I'm turning up, might go insane. Can't slow it down, gotta stay in the race. Shift the third gear, then I'm out of space. Going in for the kill, I flip the switch like G Herb. Our little baby, it is what it is. Let's keep it real when it comes to me, you know what's the deal.